Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy Grace and welcome to week 2 of Camp NaNo. If you watched week 1, the vlog that I did, you may have noticed that there wasn't a day 7. I didn't film anything on April 7th because I didn't write anything on April 7th. Also on the 6th, I sort of thought that it was the 7th because my brain is confused. So I was doing my wrap up and talking about the whole week, and yeah, I basically thought it was the 7th. I did not actually write any words yesterday after explaining that I got confused which day was the 7th. I didn't write anything, so here we are. I'm going to write. I'm actually waiting for the most productive live stream that I ever participate in to get some words written. So far I've just been doing a lot of world building stuff, figuring out cultures and religions and all the things.
Caste system. Next, you want to look at racial groups. Are there particular ethnicities that are more common in this setting?
Just look at how many different documents I have now because of all the world building stuff. It just keeps going. I am waiting for a live stream, which is still an hour away. So in the meantime, I'm watching the replay of an old one, which I wasn't present for, so it's all new to me, but it's not live. Also, I was amused because I have so many documents now doing my world building and stuff that it's hard to keep track of how many words I've written. So today, I wrote out all of the current word counts before I get started. I can count them up afterwards and add them together. All of my documents. The one that I just opened, and I'm about to start writing. Someday, we'll get back to the actual story. But that day is not today. Yeah, so current brainstorming stuff. I am rewriting a history of the world up into the point where I am at in the story. And I realized last week, I kept saying that the Great War that's relevant to my story happened 1,000 years ago. And I don't know why I was saying that, because the date of the war hasn't changed in the last 5 years, but it was actually 300 years ago. So I don't know where the 1,000 came from, because it's been 300 years for the past 5 years. Anyway, but I'm writing an updated version of the history of the world. And then I am going to be doing some brainstorming of what my creepy forest is going to be like, because I've reached a creepy forest and shenanigans will take place, and I need to know what sort of creepy creatures are in there. There aren't going to be any giant spiders, but what other sorts of creepy things might my people encounter? I don't know. Okay, another update, I guess, or an explanation of what I'm doing. With the world building, I'm focusing right now on the dwarves because my main character spends a lot of time with a group of dwarves. So I wanted to actually figure out all of their culture and how they lived and all of that. Not just the bare minimum that I had been working with as I wrote the first half of the story. So I'm figuring out all of that, and because their entire culture shifted after the war, that wasn't 1,000 years ago, I'm figuring out both, like what the ancient, it was 400 years ago, anyway, what the previous culture was and what this culture is, and technically there's actually sort of 3 cultures, so I might dive into the other one as well. So here's what happened. There was a dwarven culture, and then there was the war that caused the entire world to be turned upside down. And after that, some of the dwarves retreated into their like main mountain where they lived, where the palace was and the royals lived and all that. And some of them retreated into a different mountain range where there were outposts and things like that during the war. and they stayed in their mountains for hundreds of years because they were like, we are so done with the outside world. So the dwarves within the palace mountain area have a culture, and that's the one that I haven't decided if I'm going to outline and map or whatever, because I'm doing the original culture that they all had, and then the one of the outlying mountain ranges, which are the dwarves that my character interacts with. And I haven't decided yet if I want to figure out how the dwarves who retreated into the palace mountain live. Like, do they still live the same as the ancient culture, since they were sort of the epicenter of that culture before they all hid there? Or did it shift and change? I don't know. And I don't know if it matters, because my character may not interact with dwarves from that mountain ever. I haven't quite finished doing the ancient original culture stuff, but I've made it through most of those things. And then I haven't done any of it yet for the dwarves that my character actually spends time with. But it's 8:15 and I'm tired, so I'm stopping. Been world building again, because that's what I do these days, and I've added about 500 words to my dwarven culture stuff. Also filled out my little things so I can keep track of word counts and stuff. I've almost finished the original culture. I'm down to just things like the arts, sports and athletics, entertainment, that sort of stuff. And then I will move on to the dwarves in the present that my character Fire actually interacts with. But I needed to know the original culture because one of my characters that spends time with my main character, he is trying to live by the original traditional culture. So I needed to know what that was so I could see how he differed from the other dwarves. Eastery things happened, but I am back and ready to do some more writing. I'm hoping to finish the ancient dwarven society today so that I know exactly what my one character is trying to live by, my traditional dwarf. And then hopefully I still have the creative juices to work on the present day other dwarves that my character interacts with, the non-traditional ones. And then yeah, I don't know. I don't expect to get much more than the dwarves today because it takes a lot of work to create an entire culture. I officially have 2 live streams open because I had Charlotte's, let me just show you. I had Charlotte's live stream on my schedule. So this is the one I'm technically participating in. But I also have Jenna's open because she's awesome. So when she starts talking, when we're not actually in a sprint, I pop over there and just listen to her because she's funny. But this is the one that I'm actually doing the sprints. Because I'm crazy. Dwarven culture, here we come! I finished the ancient dwarves, the traditional culture, and have moved on to my present day dwarves that my character interacts with. Don't have much yet, but I've done architecture, plant and animal life, and some of the climate, the flora and fauna and the climate. So much more to do. Well, it's Easter. A wildly different Easter than most years. Last year, I went to a sunrise service and was somewhat politely coerced into wearing a matching dress of two of my sisters, and it was, you know, this whole ordeal, and then big lunch with all the family and all this stuff. My sister and her family that I live with did put together a lunch, so we had a nice Easter lunch. I slept in all morning. Yep. A virus that shall not be named has made this day a little bit different. But regardless of all of that, I need to get some more writing done. And by writing, I mean world building, because that's what I'm doing this week. Also, if I look really, really tired, I stayed up until 2 a.m. last night playing Cards Against Humanity, which was different. It's not really the sort of game that I would normally play. First of all, I got cold, because it's a cold and miserable day. It's not very Easterly at all. Second, I'm gonna go make myself some tea. I have a writing ritual, basically, that I do every time I write, where I make myself some tea and I light a candle, and then I find the music that I want to listen to, which is usually a Two Steps from Hell soundtrack. Unless I have a very specific song for a story. Like when I wrote my dystopian trilogy, I always listened to the song Brave, because the 3 verses fit my 3 main characters perfectly. But in general, I just listen to a Two Steps from Hell soundtrack. That's a lot of useless information. The point is, I have things that I do every time I sit down to write. It's my little writing ritual. But it's been weird this week with the world building, because I haven't really been doing my writing ritual. And maybe that's just because I'm not, like, writing, I'm just thinking up cultures and stuff. But it's been weird. Like, occasionally I'll light a candle, or if I feel like it, I'll go make a cup of tea, but I haven't, like, actually been doing my writing ritual this week. And I think it's just because I've been world building and not actually writing, but it dawned on me just now when I was like, I should go make some tea. I'm like, huh, haven't been doing much of that this week. Anyway, you didn't need to know all of that, but I'm telling you. Okay, we're gonna go with my Nano mug, because, you know, it's Camp NaNo. And now the endless debate. Should I go with my loose leaf or a tea bag? We're gonna go with the tea bag. That really wasn't much of an endless debate. I made that decision very quickly. I broke it. I have candy in my mouth, which might make it hard to understand what I'm saying. But I just did something that I found very fun and created the marriage ceremony for the dwarves, which was entertaining. It's not very long, but I enjoyed that. Officially done with both the ancient and the current dwarven cultures, and I did a little bit of the present day traditional dwarves in the other mountain that we may or may not ever encounter. We're getting quite ahead there, which is happy. I had a nap as soon as I got off work, and I'm on Emily's stream now, but I'm really not feeling it, so I might just quit. This might be a day off. I did get a handful of words written yesterday, but as you probably saw, I was tired and I had a headache and I was just not feeling it, so I didn't really do much. Hopefully I can be more productive today. Okay, so in the world building today, I'm going to be focusing on the Fae, because I need to know what they're all about since they're kind of the point of the story. I have some things already from my initial brainstorming and from 5 years ago. And then yesterday I did like 100 words of figuring out culture stuff, which really isn't much. So, yeah. Basically, what I've been doing today is researching trees and plants and, you know, flowers and bushes and things. Because the Fae are living deep within the creepy forest. They're trying to make it no longer a creepy forest. They're trying to heal the forest, basically. And so they have giant groves of like trees and like plants. So I have like the dry climates and the wetter climates and all the things. So anyway, I was researching various habitats and trying to group trees and plants and such and figure out what my groves of plants and trees and things would look like. It's complicated. I am not a botanist, but it's been kind of fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm learning all sorts of things. There are a couple of live streams later today, so I might get more done during those, but I'm taking a break from all of the plant stuff. And I'm thinking going into week 3, I'm gonna get back into actually writing the story itself, because I have all 3 dwarven cultures, and I have a good start on the Fae culture, and those are the ones that mean the most to my story, because my character Fire interacts with the Fae and with the dwarves. I haven't really done much with the human culture, and she's of the human culture, so maybe I should work on that. But I kind of just want to get back into the words because all of this stuff, I mean, making the dwarven culture was actually a lot of fun. And working on the Fae culture was fun, but trying to figure out where specific trees will be planted for each grove is just... ugh. So, moving into week 3. What's next week? Moving into week 3, I'm going to try and dive back into writing the actual story, because I'm at the midpoint right now, so I'd like to, you know, finish the first draft. And I'll probably do some more world building along the way, particularly as I get closer to actually meeting the Fae. But for now, I'm taking a break and or stopping for the night. I don't know. There are live streams later, but I don't know if I'll get on them or not. Yeah, so maybe this is the end of the vlog. That was week 2. Almost entirely world building, I think. It's all sort of blurred together in my head. I don't remember when week 2 started, but I think it was mostly world building this week. And like I said, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed all 3 dwarven cultures. That was a lot of fun. Figuring out the Fae culture was interesting, but for some reason not quite as fun for me. Return to Sherwood, my retelling of the Legend of Robin Hood, is coming out on May 1st. I will be doing a live stream, and it's going to be so much fun, so there will be a link to that in the description. Please show up, because I don't want to be there by myself. I mean, I won't be by myself. I have 3 co-hosts, so, you know, we'll just hang out together. Alone. Okay, here's the thing. I have anxiety, so I'm actually picturing this going horribly wrong and 0 people showing up, and, anyway. That was week 2.